It's not every day you see two bass players in one band, but apparently Ned's Atomic Dustbin have been doing this since the late 80s, and today I'm checking out their music video for Gray Cell Green and hearing it for the very first time. Let's get to it. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Low End University. When I started getting requests for this band, Ned's Atomic Dustbin, I swore it was like a video game soundtrack. Something about the atomic. I don't know. It had like Conker's Bad Fur Day, Kirby's Epic Yarn type of name. Because I get video game requests a lot on the channel, but it is a rock band who got their name from the BBC radio comedy show, The Goon Show. They got it from some episode, apparently. But Gray Cell Green is from their debut album, Fodder, released in 1991. And reading a bit about the band is unusual for using two bass players in their lineup. Alex Griffin plays melody lines high up on one bass, and Matt Cheslin plays the regular bass lines on the other. This gives the band a tense and highly driven sub-hardcore sound, featuring distorted effects-laden guitar and energetic drums. And one reviewer said there was no other band like Ned's Atomic Dustbin. To this very day, there still isn't. So I'm very intrigued. Let's get right into it. Gray Cell Green, music video from Ned's Atomic Dustbin. Interesting.
It has been found. You'll be running far away. When your desire. It has been found.
A major.
You'll be running far away. You're telling me it's in the trees, in the trees. It's not, it's inside me now. You're telling me it's on the ground, it's all around, but it's not, it's inside me. You're telling me it's in disguise,
wow.
close your eyes.
Okay, I almost misread this earlier, but reading here in my notes for Fodder, or the band in general, there is a guitar player. And I thought going into it, it might just be bass, and then the higher bass kind of being the guitar, and then just drums and vocals. But there is a guitar player. Now, I'm interested about the breadth of their work because this technically gives them a ton of like margin for how all of that fits into a song. You have the traditional bass player, which is very audible. I heard that. Just kind of clean pick tone, I believe. The song was started by the higher bass, I believe. You can kind of see it in that intro. And I haven't really heard him come back to that riff. Sounded like it went A, B, E, and F sharp up real high. So I'm not sure about his tuning or how it's strung or whatever, but then you have an actual guitar player that can kind of ping pong between the two bass players in terms of just the orchestrations, or you could just have a traditional guitar bass rock band kind of sound and have that other bass add a third kind of tertiary part that really enriches the sound. I mean, it's a really dense sound. And reading about this being in the early 90s, I don't know if I'm primed by that, but this kind of has that grungy production. The vocals, it's got this kind of cold, clinical, dense, just punchy, kind of mid-rangey master to it, which makes it sound really dense. You know, I think back to like Nirvana records. Those were just so big sounding. And, you know, it's not exactly like that, but just some of those like era-esque productions from the early 90s, it has some of those tropes, just punchy, dense, everything's kind of really blended together. The guitars and the bass kind of have this really peanut buttery blend where if I didn't know this was two bass players, I wouldn't even hear it in these chorus sections. So really interesting. I thought this might be a bit more jazzy or bluesy or something, but it's very like just rock. Very cool. Let's keep it going.
It's inside me now. You're telling me it's Mother Earth, some sign on birth. It's not, it's inside me. Oh.
Yeah, you can kind of hear that very faint layer right there. Kind of listen to the out of this chorus, the way it goes out. You hear this kind of... It might be that upper bass part.
It's inside me. Oh.
Yeah.
Desire. When your desire, it has been found. You're running far away. When your
Thought I saw Rickenbacker there. Because I'm curious to see what they're kind of playing. What is that? Is that a Rick? I feel like I saw the headstock for just a second. I'm sure it'll come up again. It's cutting fast as music videos do. But we're in A major. It's got actually pretty upbeat major key thing going on. They're really leaning into the major third, even on the riff itself, not just an implied major sound. They're actually going down to that C sharp, which gives it that major sound. But the delivery of it all and that production doesn't make it sound kind of as upbeat and clean as another band might deliver this progression. So it's got a heaviness to it. Keep it going.
You'll be running far away.
Yeah, is that a... It looks like a Rick headstock, but I'm going to say that is. It's really blurry, and I'm not the best with some of these brands, but the body shape, that upper horn, kind of gives it away. Okay. It's like the other guy's on a Stingray, maybe? Ernie Ball? Cool. Yeah, you can really hear on the vocals there. When I refer to this kind of grunge production thing, I'm not saying it sounds like a Nirvana record. I think just there was a lot of tendency to be sounding this way for bands back then. Alice in Chains, I could list a ton, but it's really in that vocal production. The way it's kind of doubled, it almost has this chorusy, like just listen to the vocals here. It kind of has this dreamy delivery. It almost sounds like you're in a dream. It's not this really dry upfront vocal that's really kind of full range and crisp. It's kind of, I don't know, it's mixed into the top layer a bit more recessed. Let's see. I don't know, it has a dreamy quality to it to me, but it makes the song so dense and heavy. It's pretty cool. Upbeats. Oh, wow. Kind of established that. Then you have this like celestial harp-like, almost ethereal layer that's just coming in. You have these cascading arpeggios that's really brightens the song up, kind of out of that punchier, heavier sound. It really got melodic here. Listen to that. You can hear that lower bass kind of grinding under it too. Yeah, here I'm up here kind of leaning on the major thirds and the fifths. And hear it right there. That's such a cool thing for a rock band. Then it went up here. I think it changes a little bit. I don't know, it's kind of cascading the upper extensions of the chords they're on. But it almost has this kind of harmonic quality to it. I don't know. It just has that kind of, the way it fits into the mix, just chimey and sparkly, which is such a cool way to utilize that. And like I said at the beginning, it gives each member a wider field of play when fitting into the chord and the composition. As I said, the guitar player can ping pong between the two bass players, or it can just be a typical guitar bass rock thing, which is what they're doing here. Then that upper bass player can come in and just enrich the composition in a whole different way. And I don't know, very innovative to me. Keep it going.
It's inside me. Desire,
Ooh, nice build.
desire. You're telling me it's in the trees. It's not, it's inside me.
See, now that top bass can go back and just blend back in with everything that was going on. To the part of the song that I would have said, I didn't know there were two bass players. So I love, again, that wide field of play. This upper bass player, I guess that was Matt Cheslin, says here's the upper melodies. Did I get that backwards? Matt Cheslin plays the regular one. Yep. Nonetheless, very cool. Back to this. Cool. Keeps falling down. Oh, wow. Very nice. Now they bring that roll back in. Now it's up here kind of doing kind of ostinato thing where all those notes, which in A, that would be the major third, the fourth, and the fifth. But then when they go to E, he keeps repeating that top line. So the major third, the major four, and the five become different now when the root note's on E. So it kind of becomes like the six, the seven, that flat seven, and then the one. See how different that is in context? And then they go to the D, and it's different as well. It becomes the major seven, the one, and the two. So all those little bit of dissonant intervals in there happen when you just kind of repeat a three-note melody over the top of a chord progression. And you don't even really hear it in those terms, but it just gives a lot of depth to the very simple chord progression, actually. Just 1, 4, 5. 1, 5, 4. Here we go. Cool. I like that. Huh. I think what was surprising about this band is the name kind of threw me off. I didn't expect it to sound like this. And the fact that when you say you have two bass players and it's kind of the shtick, which a lot of reviewers here on Wikipedia reading, past reviews on the Godfather album kind of just kept leaning into that being a defining factor of the band. But the truth is they didn't really use the two bass player thing in this kind of flashy, gimmicky way. It was just another layer. It seemed very organic. I think the first half of the song, it was just kind of like grungy-ish rock, just meat and potatoes. After that bass intro, I didn't know if I would really hear that second bass player kind of come out with a more prominent figure. But at the end, it evolved into this whole other thing, which goes into what I was saying. There's so much room for creativity with this, this type of instrumentation. So, wow, you guys have been requesting Ned's Atomic Dustbin for probably 6 months now. I'm just now getting into it and getting into them. Not what I expected, but very catchy. Come find us on Patreon if you'd like to support the channel further. I do full album reactions. I have a lot of educational content from music and bass. And while you're here, please please subscribe. It really helps the channel out. I love you all as always. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time.